Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin and it's Saturday, so that means it is time for my weekly roundup. Yeah! So, what is my weekly roundup? It is where we go through my week in crafting, and we usually talk about the book I'm reading. We're going to talk about that today. Exciting news! So, let's just jump right in. So we'll go through my finished objects first, my FOs. And as you may have predicted, the Santa hat last week was a bone of contention amongst the children. And Bingo needed her own, but hers needed to be purple. So here we go. I had some purple sparkle mainstays. It's not sparkling for you, I don't think. But I had some purple sparkle mainstays, and I added the fur yarn on the bottom, and she is thrilled. So, crisis averted. Thank goodness this takes, an hour or so to make, depending on distractions. All my finished objects this week are hats. So I had from my my hat challenge from my local yarn shop, I had half a cake of this Cumulus Rainbow from Juniper Moon Farms. Is it going to focus on it? There you go. It's a cotton yarn. It's 94% cotton, 6% nylon, and it's Israeli Mako cotton. It is so nice. But I had half of it left, and I wanted to use it. So I went ahead and made just a quick double crochet beanie. Oh, it is giant on my head. There you go. It's for Brian. So I really love this yarn. It's so soft. It's so, it's cotton, so it's kind of light, but it's also kind of warm. And just the color play, the softness, it is beautiful to work with. Oh, this is one of my absolute favorites. So Brian's got a new hat. There we go. Beautiful. It's just a double crochet beanie. And then my other big news is I haven't done my crafty Christmas items, what I got for Christmas, but spoiler alert, Brian got me the big Addy. So I was trying to learn how to use the Addy. And I went through my stash and found this random red heart that I've had for ages. It's Bright Mix. And I decided to just try to whip it up on the Addy. So I did. Here we go. This is the classic double layer beanie. So here we go. Bingo loves this, and I tried it on. And if we, of course, fold up the brim, it looks absolutely adorable on her. So this took roughly 2/3 of the skein of yarn, and so I wasn't sure what to do with the rest, but I still wanted to practice. So this one I cranked, so mine has a row counter on it, and I believe I cranked it to 90 or 92 rows. So there you go. And then I just cinched it both and cinched it, sewed it together so it stays. And there we go. So it's fully reversible if she wanted to. I don't know if one side is prettier than the other in her mind, but she can do what she will with it. So I cranked out the remainder, and it was 60 some rows, and this is what I came up with. So what I did was I cinched one end, and then I folded under the brim and just whip stitched it into the purl bumps, so it's hidden. You can't see it on the outside, but you've got a double layer brim there on the inside. So unfortunately, the string there got pulled a little tight, but again, it works very nicely on Bingo's little noggin. And that's just something I can work on in the future. Oh, it's not even going to go over my hat. There you go. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to have to work on this technique a bit, but I think it's a nice technique. I'm excited by the idea of it. Brian also got me this book so I can do more than just hats. It's Addies Winding instead of knitting. New instructions for the Addy Express King Size. And it's got like sweaters and like, yeah, it's got bags, sweaters, cardigans, a bunch of cardigans, a bunch of different sweaters, some sort of basket, a rug, a skirt, a hooded scarf. It's got all sorts of things in there that you can learn to make. So first I'm going to practice with just some hats and then we'll go from there. And that's all I have in my finished objects. So 4 hats, very exciting. In my whips, I only have 2 I'm going to show. And honestly, I kind of wandered around going, surely I have more whips. But I don't, because I finished the BOD project. I haven't started the project for the next creator. And yeah, so I'm kind of just working through it, which is good because one of my goals was to work down the larger whips I have. So anyway, whips. I have my Ginger Snap sock bag with my Ginger Snap sock. So again, this sock is using the S'more Summer Fun yarn set from Ginger Snap that she released over the summer. And I finished one of them and I'm starting sock 2. So here I am, sock 2. I've got my line for my Afterthought heel that's already in. So now I'm just cranking away at the tube and we'll get there when we get there. It is, this pattern is the Espresso Shorty Socks from Hypnotic Yarns. It's free on Ravelry. What I liked about this one was it was a shorty sock, which I prefer, and it's got colorwork heel and toe, and it's my first attempt at an Afterthought heel. So, as you know, I've already finished one, so I've done the Afterthought heel. My jury's still out as to whether or not I like the Afterthought heel. I'll let you know after I do this one. But the pattern designer here is Cheryl Ham. And like I said, I got it free off of Ravelry. It'll be linked down below if you are interested in trying this sock. And yeah, I'm excited. I think they're so cute. I'm using my US 1 Haya needles. And when I need them, my DPNs are my US 1 stainless steel chow glues. Just keep plugging along. My final whip I'm going to share, this is going to maybe be a mercifully quick weekly roundup, is the big whip that I'm going to focus on in January here. So I have gone ahead and I've joined Lori from Armchair Chef, her mystery yarn challenge. She's added some new options where you can work on whips. So I thought that is awesome because I love the idea of her mystery yarn challenge. But then I look at my whips and my stash and I say, I really need to focus on what I've got. So no, not right now. But when she introduced whips, I can play. So I messaged her, I'm going to play this week, this month I got the buy. So I'm not sending out yarn, but I'm still working on my whip. So what whip am I working on? It's the Berber Afghan. So my goal for the Mystery Yarn Challenge and in general is to finish this Afghan in January. I think it's a stretch goal, but we'll do the best we can. So there's 23 different motifs, patterns, sections, whatever you want to call. I am working through pattern 9 right now. And then you also have to do the border, and I'm going to try to do an envelope border on this one. This is the blanket I'm going to make to donate for BOD's animal rescue auction. So it's really the only long-term whip I have that has any sort of deadline. So that's just why I want to do this one first. So here we go. I'll show you where I'm at. So this is the bottom. And then to where I am currently am. There you go. Beautiful. I am really loving this. Brian adores this blanket. I feel like once I finish this one, I'll be digging yarn out of ye old stash to make another one for the house. And that will be awesome, because we got to use the stash, right? But yeah, those are my whips, and goal, finish this in January. What else? Books. So, what about the books? Oh, I mentioned I finished this last week. Got just a couple more days on the Krafting Kitty Creator Spotlight if you have any BOD projects. Just this morning I finished going through all of my emails. So if you emailed me your entry, you should have received a response. If you have not, that means I have not received it via email. If you submitted in the Facebook group, I'm still working. But let's talk books. So if you were just here for the yarny goodness, that was that, and I will see you later. If you want to talk books with me, welcome. So, The Wise Man's Fear. When we met last week, I had about 100 pages left. I finished it! I finished it! Oh, it's bittersweet. Because, you know, it's an unfinished trilogy. I don't think you really ended at a cliffhanger. You actually ended at a pretty kind of happy note. So that feels kind of nice, but I want to know how it ends. There are the 2 novellas, which I have, and a short story. So I'm going to read those as well to stay in the universe a little longer. And of course, I'm not saying if, when the final book comes out, I will snatch that up and read it. I really like it. If you're into sword and sorcery, fantasy, it's a good book. If you do not like unfinished trilogies and that annoys you, don't read it. Read something else. There's a lot out there to read. But I highly recommend it. I think it's really good. His world building is phenomenal. This one has a bit more sword in it than the first one. There's still sorcery. There's a magic system. There's also a little bit, I'm gonna say there's some adult themes. He's a young man, like 17. He discovers some things, but it's not descriptive. So there's a little bit of context, but nothing explicit, nothing descriptive. It's like they went to the tent together and then it's left to your imagination, that type of thing. There's one section where oh no, I don't want to give too much away, so I won't say anything. But yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. I did feel 2 parts of the book lagged for me. It felt like we spent too much time there, and I'm not sure what it added to the story, but there is a 3rd book, so I am totally open to that becoming more relevant in the coming material, you know? So TBD on that, but overall, loved it. So excited. Okay, so I finished that. What did I begin? I started this book. This was recommended to me by Litnitz Linda. It's Hester. It is by Lori Lyko Albanese. There you go. And it is basically it's so Hester Prynne. It is related to Hester Prynne, but it's supposed to be a novel about the woman who inspired Nathaniel Hawthorne to write the Scarlet Letter. The woman who was the inspiration for Hester Prynne, not necessarily the Scarlet Letter written from Hester Prynne's perspective, if that makes sense. So it's very interesting. So it has that link to Scarlet Letter. It definitely has witchiness in it and like supernatural. She's not, I guess I'm not super duper far into the book. I'm starting chapter 7, so I finished chapter 6. It's also kind of told in tandem with flashbacks to one of her ancestors, which I think is really cool, who was accused of witchcraft and all that good stuff. So yeah, I am really enjoying this. Thank you, Linda. I think this will be a quick read. As I said, I'm already on chapter 7. It's a nice, easy read. The text is nice, large print, unlike the tiny, itty bitty print in this one. Oh, that was an effort to read that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to give you more of a fuller review as I get further into it. And I don't want to give anything away about it, so I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk too much about it. But if you're interested in reading it, it does have a beginning thing here about synesthesia. I don't know how to pronounce it. Synesthesia, which is kind of central to it, and I think she seems to be, so it's where you experience sounds and the world differently. In like Billie Eilish says she can see music. Other people have said they could do it. But that's coming to play here. She can, I don't want to give too much away, but she can, words have colors, and she calls it her colors. So that's, I'm assuming, going to play in. She's already kind of been accused of witchcraftiness because of that. We know, in olden days, often things like that were interpreted differently, and that's always so interesting to me. And yeah, Salem, it's set in Salem. That always has been of interest to me, and there's just something about that time in history that just, it just draws your imagination sometimes. So yeah, I'm excited to read that book. Okay, I'm going to stop blabbering since I'm trying not to say too much about the plot, and I might have already said too much already. And yeah, okay. I will talk to you later. If you guys have book recommendations, I am happy, always happy to add to my TBR list. Always happy. It might take me a little while to get to them, but I take them seriously. Also patterns, if you guys have any pattern suggestions, I always love to hear those as well. Okie dokie. I'm going to talk to you guys later.